Thank you. Thank you. And how many of you could imagine standing up here and looking out on this audience and how frightening and intimidating that could possibly be for any of us? But I gotta tell you, it's actually not as frightening, as intimidating as I might have imagined, because I know for a fact what I'm about to do is the easiest job in the world. It's the easiest job in the world because there isn't anything I'm about to say that you don't know. Because everything that you do and everything this organization does is hardwired to connect and to be successful. Relationships are the core to your success. If you understand what I'm saying, just tell me, I get it. Now, if that's all true, then ultimately the question is, what does that really mean by relationships? Because you've got a powerful company, and you've got a powerful set of individuals sitting down around you. And the reason I wanted to bring these lights up is because what you need to do to be successful in this world is sitting right around you. And I don't know if that emotionally sinks in yet, but if I do anything with you today, I'm going to try to bring that to life for each and every one of you, that everything that you need in these troubled economic times, everything that you need in your personal troubled times, no matter what they are, everything that you need to be the great person that you were put on this planet to do, to be successful, to be powerful, to be your full potential, doesn't actually start and come from internally. It starts and comes from your willingness to let other people in. When I wrote these two books, I wrote them with a very simple message in mind that we're going to talk about today. And the message is very simple, and that it is that you can't get there alone. Let's let that sink in for a second. You can't get there alone. I don't care where there is for you. I don't care what your dreams, your aspirations, your hopes. I don't care what your unique and specific fears are, but no matter where you want or what you want to achieve, it's with and through the people in your life that will happen. But we got a problem. We've got a problem in society that we're now also fixated on having so much to do and so little time to do it. How many people in this room would say that they are slightly, if not significantly, overwhelmed without enough time to do all that you have to do? Just say amen. Amen. And the problem is that in today's day and age, we get so focused on the transaction. How many of us take the time to connect? And recognizing that time, that instant, and one of the things we're going to talk about today is that the time that we don't connect can be transformed, that same 2-second moment that we choose not to connect, but instead to transact. That same 2-second moment where we decide to give a compliment that may or may not be authentic or true, but we know that it works and it's a good trick to get somebody to arrest their attention. We haven't even looked to see whether their lipstick is any good. We just know that saying their lipstick is good is a good way to start. But every moment that we take to transact with your mindset, with your heart, with your decision to not transact, but to connect, with your decision that you want to lead a life a little differently, with your decision that you want to have some moments in your life when you actually exhale, that those decisions in life can go from transaction to transformation. Everything that we do can't be verbal, it's got to be felt. You all have to feel what I'm saying, and you'll never believe it. If I'm going to expect or even hope that when you leave here you do something different, you got to do something different in here and like it and connect with it, and then you're going to say, great, I want to do a little bit more of that. And then at break you're going to start practicing and doing some of it, and then when you're done with break you're going to be doing it at dinner, you're going to go home and you're going to try it a little bit more. So our ability to taste success is the beginning of a transformation, to go from transaction to transformation. So with that in mind, I want you to do something very simple. What I want you to do is I want you to find one person at your table, just somebody you're sitting next to, and I want you to judge them. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now, Listen. You know what's funny about this murmuring? Is that if I didn't say that, you would have done it anyway. I'm just giving you permission. What just happened here was what happens typically when you reach out to the world and you're making introductions. Right? Number one, you looked at somebody and you sized them up. You thought to yourself, is this person interesting? Is this person smart? Is this person talented? Does this person have a big stick up their back end? Whatever. You sat back and you judged them. We are all the perpetuators and the victims of prejudice every day. There's not a single person in this room that hasn't been inappropriately prejudged. There isn't a single person in this room that hasn't been the perpetuator of prejudice. Just recognize that every time somebody's in front of you, there is a potential for a soul to touch. And guess whose soul that is? It's not theirs, it's yours. Every time you see somebody, you've got to make a choice to care. You've got to make a choice to care. And oddly enough, relationships in this world is a choice. It's a choice that you can decide right now, the next person that I talk to, I'm going to care. It's that simple. It doesn't take you any longer to choose to care than it did to choose to get that last introduction over with because the guy on stage told me to do it. I want you to go back to that same person that, in a moment, you guys are very quick to act. When I say go, I want you to go back to that same person and I want you to practice a simple exercise. I just want you to look them in the eyes and I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to care. I am going to care. And I guarantee you that simple act of looking at someone's eyes and deciding to care will get you 90% of the way there. The second thing that you've got to do is you've got to get them to tell you their story. What do I mean by that? You all know how the power of story. Story is, as a friend of mine calls it, emotional transportation. You know, somebody says, you know, what are you really passionate about? Oh, my kids. Great. You don't really care. It's like you just checked a box. But get them to tell you their story. Tell me about that. Tell me why you're so passionate about your children. Tell me a story. Tell me about their last birthday. Tell me about the last holiday that you experienced with them. Tell me what they did in the last couple of weeks that made you proud or scared or interested. Tell me a story. What you're doing and what I want all of us to do in this world, and this will transform your life. If you do nothing, if you take nothing away from the time that we're going to spend together going forward, if you do nothing else, but just remember this, your jobs in life are to walk around the world, creating an environment around yourself that invites people in to want to have a better relationship with you. Your job in this world is to walk around the world creating an environment that invites people in to want to have a better relationship with you. God, I look out on this couple of thousand people and I just realize that if every one of you in this room were to begin to do that, the impact and the touch that it would have on your worlds and our society for that matter. Our churches aren't as full as they used to be. Our community centers aren't as full as they used to be. People don't join clubs. They go into gyms and they put iPods on and they isolate themselves. Where is our community? Naturally, as human animals, and we're animals, we are hardwired and designed to work in community. Back in the olden days, they were called tribes. In the way olden days, when it was like 70,000 years ago, and there were only 12 of those tribes in Africa. And those groups, if they didn't connect and come together, they wouldn't survive. As a result, as humans, we are hardwired to our DNA, to our core, to connect, to serve, to help each other be successful. Because if we didn't, we were thrown out, we'd be eaten by mountain lions by ourselves. So we got to connect, and we long for it. When you do connect, that's your time that I say you feel an exhale. And somebody actually makes you feel like you belong.